is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 132 of the... Is that 132?
It is 132.
I thought it was 133.
I thought it was 133.
But I don't know.
Okay.
Hold on.
132 or 133 of the...
130 something.
It's 132. Scott was right, but I thought it was 133 too, Jeremy. So
did I. I looked at the episode because I thought I did like the 132 like last time. Whatever.
Nope. Unless we've been numbering them wrong for the last couple, because I grabbed our most recent one and brought it in.
Scott is right.
I'm glad I'm not crazy, because I'm glad Larry is just as crazy as I am. So welcome to this week's stream, episode 132 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, it's Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What is going on this week, guys?
It's been another quarantine type of week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week in quarantine.
It's been a week.
It's been a good week.
It has.
I think it was a good week again. It went by fast again. Even though work was super busy.
Is that what makes it a good week for you, Larry?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like this first couple quarantine weeks were awful because they just dragged. I feel like I'm in my like work wise and stuff. Like I'm in my routine now. Like it's going good.
That's good.
It went by so fast for me that I forgot it was garbage day, and so then
you had to do the panic run. Oh shit!
And I didn't make
Whoops.
So now I have to basically be crafty with my garbage for the next week, just because all these days are running together.
Yep.
See, all you have to do is you can't do this a lot, but I have done it before when you called them, be like, hey, there was like a vehicle obscuring my thing and they skipped my house. Can you come wheel them back around? And they have come back before for that. Like you call the dispatcher or whatever and be like, somebody blocked my house.
Really?
Yeah, you just make up some story.
That's smart, because I've missed it too. Like it happens, and it's kind of the worst, because then you can't shut the lid the next week, right? Because your trash just piled up like crazy.
So the only like saving grace is like, so in the town that we live in, we have actually like garbage people. Like instead of like the garbage like the thing that the arm that picks it up and dumps it in.
Yeah, so, like the robot.
There's actually guys that ride on the back of the truck still and like throw it.
Yeah. So that's cool.
So at least I have that, so I can at least like stack it by my garbage next week. It's just more of a pain than anything else. But anyways, I do have it's been a week, the story.
Well,
two things. So one of them is from like this kind of like tech news that I've just been absolutely like flabbergasted about. And
I'm intrigued that Jeremy used the word flabbergasted. Now I'm super. What is this story?
So
that's some serious shit.
Yeah, when you use that word, dude, shit went down. It better be good.
Trippy. Yeah. So I tried to get it set up before the stream. I just didn't do it in time. But what I'm talking about is NVIDIA actually released a new feature for their graphics cards that has nothing to do with graphics whatsoever. It's called RTX Voice. And so what it is it actually utilizes the tensor cores, like I said, in the new RTX cards. And so the tensor cores are the AI, like basically chips that like every like AI computer utilizes, right? And so it does real-time noise cancellation.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Dude,
that's cool.
Fucking crazy. So like there's like, so you could have literally a vacuum right next to you on and completed, and we could be talking just like this and you wouldn't hear it. Like it is the weirdest thing in the entire world. So if you're out there, if you want to like look at some crazy voodoo witchcraft like tech stuff, like I said, just YouTube, like I said, any like RTX audio videos, it is trippy how it works. So I thought I could get it set up in time to get it to demonstrate. I just didn't get it set up in time. But so that's number one. Number two is, so I've been doing these like quarantine collection like pictures, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like there's stuff that I said it's kind of interesting, kind of going through that journey and figuring out basically things that you've had and things that you didn't realize that you had, and things that you like. I thought I got rid of this, but I actually kept. So
that's the best feeling,
dude. It is.
Right?
So the one I posted right before the stream today was actually this autograph plate card from Atomic Comics back in the day. So like I said, for you guys that are Arizona locals, like I said, Atomic Comics used to be like I said, the comic book store. Like
that was the place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was the very first comic signing I have ever been to in my entire life. Like I said, this Atomic Comics, Chaos Comics, like Lady Death, like signature party, right? And so I remember, like I said, being a teenager, and I'm like, hey, this comic character has boobs. I'm like, this is awesome.
Right.
So I found, like I said, going through like some boxes and stuff over the last like few weeks, because like I said, what else are you gonna do besides be locked up in your house? I've actually found, like I said, my original autograph plate from the signing event. Like I'm not one to like save stuff over the course of time. Like I said, there's like collectibles and stuff I'll typically save, but like I said, back then, I wasn't responsible. I didn't save anything. It was just shocking to have shocking to have this thing like from my childhood, and shocked that it's actually still in like amazing condition for how old it is and how crappy I was with my things back then.
The thing that you probably
I hadn't seen it
on the ground. Yeah,
I hadn't seen it yet because you just posted it, but it's pretty cool. Like, right, it's like a custom card that they made that's got a spot for everybody's signature, right? The creator, the artist, the colorist. But yeah, it's dated April 25th, 1998. So, what, 22 years ago? It's been a little bit, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. And then the one guy who didn't sign it, like I said, it was from this heavy metal band called Doomsday. And the guy who didn't sign it ended up with the flu, and he couldn't attend the signing.
Oh, okay. I did notice that, and I noticed it said drums.
He plays drums for the comic. When you read it,
okay.
You have to call this guy, schedule time. When you read it, he'll come and drum while you're reading the comic.
So
that's pretty cool, man.
What they ended up actually doing is so basically Stephen Hughes, the guy who used to draw Lady Death, he actually passed away of cancer a couple years after that. But like I said, he would draw like bands in the comics sometimes, and so it was this local heavy metal band who actually drew in the comics at that time. So they actually came in for the signing as well, and they played. At the same time, but he couldn't play because the drummer was sick. So they just signed autographs that day.
That's cool. Yeah, Manny says in the chat that Jeremy's been posting some cool stuff on social media. So yeah, if you're not following Jeremy, follow him at TXJerms, TXJERMS on Instagram. And guess what? Jeremy's now on Twitter at TXJerms too. He's got a new Twitter account. That was fun.
Yes,
it's always concerning when I see Jeremy branch into a new social media because he's never had one for so long.
First it was Facebook, then Instagram. Now he's on Twitter. I'm thinking next week's TikTok.
Yeah, the day there's a TikTok is the day that I will legitimately just walk over to Jeremy's house and slap him.
Well, TikTok, it will never happen.
Never say never.
Yeah, I can think of one way it might happen.
The only way it would happen is that if I potentially have a different job than what I have now. That would be the only. That would be the only reason. The only reason I have a couple of other things is because of my work. But
that's funny. So yeah, that was cool. I got some stuff this week. So shout out to the chat because Collector Clint's over there. I got a package in this week from Collector Clint. If you don't know him, he is part of the Four Dorksmen podcast and Geek Together. But Clint sent me this awesome Funko soda Batman. It's the Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive. So nice. It's the green soda figure.
Awesome.
So he sent me that. I didn't grab that one, but I think he grabbed an extra. So I've got my second Funko soda. You may remember I picked up the big boy a couple weeks ago, but I got this cool little green dude. Took him down off the shelf. He's got a permanent home next to my Megadorbs up there. So on my Batman section. So thanks again, Clint. Check out Clint's podcast. Like I said, Four Dorksmen and Geek Together. They are awesome. And speaking of podcasts, two things. Tonight is Talkin' Pop's 4-year anniversary episode. So congrats to Mike and Josh on 4 years. That is a ridiculous amount of time. And there is a new podcast in town too. The Average Nerd podcast. It's available now on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Some friends of this show, I know, like I don't have all the names of them right here because it's not on their Twitter or on their Instagram, but it's like 5 fanatics, Toys R Us Kid, Av Cruz. I think Jace is in it too. Jace was he was my Secret Santa on the Funko board. Like 2 years ago, he sent me that Jollibee pop. So it's some friends and some people I know kind of online, and then like some other names that I recognize. So please go support them and their new podcast. You can find them on Instagram at Average Nerd Pod. Like I said, if you just search for Average Nerd Podcast, it'll come up on Spotify or to any other place that you listen to podcasts.
Ooh, nice.
I have one other podcast bit of news that we briefly talked about through text earlier this week. Have you guys checked out the first episode of the brand new Tyler G show?
I have not checked it out yet, but it's funny that you brought that up because I was going to say something about it. So if we've mentioned this before, we've had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
DC Figures and Collectibles podcast, who used to be Tyler and Scott, Batman Figs on Instagram, and also the.batfan on Instagram. They used to have a podcast together. I'm not quite sure why Tyler's gone solo, but it seems like a cool new idea. It's called the Tyler G Show. He talks about toy photography, pop culture, toys in general. So it sounds like Tyler's just kind of taking the idea on and doing it himself. So did you see the first episode yet?
So I listened to the intro. There's a kind of an explanation episode out there that explains why Scott isn't on the podcast anymore. Basically, short answer is he just didn't want to do it anymore. So Tyler's carrying on under a new name, the Tyler G Show. It's available all the places that you would have listened to DC Figures and Collectibles podcast. Sounds like it's going to be very similar. So if you're looking for it and you couldn't find DC Figures, it's now called the Tyler G Show.
Nice. Yeah. If you like other toy photography podcasts, you should check out Toy Photocast. That's with Dakota Dagobades on Instagram. Those guys are awesome. And then there's also the Fig Heads podcast. Those guys are great. And there's a lot of toy photography podcasts out there. So you can find something if you're into it.
Pretty cool. Oh, and Talkin' Pops is doing this 100 guests thing where they want to have an episode where they have 100 different guests.
That's going to be fun.
So I signed us up for it.
Yay!
Nice.
So if you're hearing my voice and you have a podcast, I don't think it's a requirement. If you just want to be a guest on Talkin' Pops, one of my favorite podcasts, if you go to 100guests.com, just enter your information and they'll reach out to you when they're ready to set up that episode. It sounds like it's going to be a whole lot of fun, man. Pretty ambitious. 100 guests. Don't think it's ever been done.
That's going to be insane.
Yep. Pretty crazy.
That's got to be a record. That's like somewhere.
Possibly a Guinness Book World Record.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
They should contact them.
You might want to go sign up, guys. Just saying.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all I had.
We were to say we were part of that. That'd be cool. But yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Plus, I'm just down for it. Like somebody asked if you're going to join because I retweeted it on Twitter, and they're like, "Are you guys going to join?" I'm like, "I support all of Mike from Talkin' Pop's crazy ideas." So yes, I will. I am totally.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can't forget to mention before we get too far, our podcast bingo, STS Guys Podcast bingo. If you guys want to play along, go to podcastbingo.com/STS Guys. And let us know if you get a bingo today.
Wait, Nate, did you say bingo?
Bingo!
I did say bingo, but not quite that good. Make sure you guys are playing along. We may say something. You may get a bingo. You might not win anything, but at least it's fun, right?
Yeah, it makes it a fun game, and I get to play that great thing. What was that?
I do not know.
Dear Lord.
New beat button for when people cuss.
I don't really have a big It's Been a Week story, but I did finally pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
And it is glorious.
Yeah, I've been playing Doom Eternal before, and I actually got 100% of the campaign, which was a huge pain in the ass, but I'm actually pretty glad that I did it because it was a lot of fun. And then picked up Final Fantasy VII Remake, and wow, it's a really good game. It's better than I expected it would be. Really a crazy reimagining of the original story. If you guys have played the original, it's not really the same game, but that's kind of a cool thing. The real-time combat is amazing. Maybe I'll try to live stream tomorrow. I know I say that and then I don't do it, but I need a live stream, so maybe tomorrow we'll do that. Yeah.
Cool.
That's kind of like It's been a week. I'm waiting for Baron Benz from Mezco Toys. They started shipping out that exclusive. He's the kind of like the scuba diver guy.
Did you pick up any of you posted on your story? You got
the bag of skulls.
Yeah, a bag of skulls. Like
let me
a life size. I think it was like a cardboard cutout of Gomez. They posted up some random but really cool stuff.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
Those like comic book ads like they used to do. Like, hey, get this giant figure. Hey, get these X-ray goggles. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. It even kind of like the ads, the Instagram sized ads they threw up
the
there.
old back of the comic book stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like,
I'm trying to pull it up. Yeah, it's
cover board or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I guess within the Baron Benz order, there's a mini comic that kind of explains his origin and kind of like what he's about. But at the back of that, there's something called Slugfest Emporium of Badassery. And you can actually only get to the website by scanning that QR code, and then it will take you to the website. But if you go to the Mezco Toys main page, you actually can't reach it.
Yeah, so you posted on your story, I didn't care enough to message you, but I almost did because I couldn't find it.
Like, where
I went
do I go
looking
to
for
get
it.
this?
I couldn't find it. I'm like, this is dumb.
Somebody had sent it to me that morning that actually got the Baron Benz, and he had posted it. And so I took it from there, and I kept that open, in my Google, because that's the only time you can get to it. Yeah. But I'm trying to get to it right now, and it's not letting me.
Super top secret, man.
Secret
down.
But it's a really cool idea. Like, it's the first time Mezco's done anything like this. Like Larry said, they have this thing called the Bag of Skulls, which is 12 skulls, and they're all different colors. They're all different heads that you can actually use on many different Mezcos, not just Gomez and that stuff. But they come in a bunch of different colors, like orange, pink, green, yellow, blue, like all kinds of cool stuff. So you get 12 of those for $25, which is an amazing deal for head sculpts. I mean, usually you get like one custom head sculpt for like $20. So that's a really good deal. Then they have like the Mezits figures.
Oh, yeah.
So like these guys, you can buy like 10 of these. There's
that was cool too. A bulk lot. Because they do those Mezco Mondays contest thing, right? Where you're supposed to post a Mezits in your shot and then you can win something.
Exactly.
But what if you don't have any? Like, what better than an army of them now? That's cool.
Yeah, right.
I have an idea for your Mezits Monday. Did you order all the little Mezits guys?
No, I didn't order the Mezits guys just because I have like so many of them. Actually, let me share my screen.
Yeah,
I finally found it.
Yeah, because I want you to do basically a goal versus travels. Basically, one of the main figures down with all the Mezits around it. That would be badass.
Yeah,
that's actually a great idea. Yeah, you can kind of see behind me. I have like 10 right here, so maybe I can do it with that. Oh, great!
Oh no! Don't break your stuff.
There goes Gomez. But this is the Slugfest Emporium of Badassery. I actually found it because I had it in my DMs here. But yeah, they've got the Bag of Skulls, which is actually on waitlist now. The Gang of Mezits, the Challenge Coin set, life-size Agent Gomez. So that looks like one of those kind of
cardboard cutout.
Yeah, like a party favor kind of thing.
Yeah. You get a security clearance card, and you can add your picture to it. This is pretty cool because this is a sneak peek at a new figure. So it's going to be a new addition to the Rumble Society. His name's Doc Nocturnal. And he looks like a Grim Reaper, sort of V for Vendetta kind of guy.
With the Tommy gun?
Tommy gun and a skull for a head. He looks pretty awesome, actually. I'm really excited to see how this comes out.
Yeah, well, hold on. So, like, first I'm like $30 for a poster, but then it's a Doc Nocturnal hand silkscreen poster. So it's probably a really nice poster.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. Yeah.
So what did you buy, Nate? Because I would have bought everything if I was you. What did you buy?
I only got the skulls for now. I'll probably go back and get that silkscreen poster that Larry was talking about.
I think the poster's probably really cool, and it's one of those, if you don't buy it, you'll regret it later.
Yeah. Because the skulls are already out of stock, so I'm glad I got those. They're on the wait list now, but the Gang of Mezits, I'm not really too crazy about because you get a free one in every single Mezco.
Yeah.
So I'll be getting those for a long time. And I don't have the pink skulls, but I kind of wish I did now. The challenge coin set's cool, and then this would be actually kind of awesome to hang on my door or something.
That's what I was thinking. Because, like I said, I even hesitated for a second. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any Mezco figures. But yeah, I was thinking it's perfect to throw on the back of your door. $25, that's not bad.
Not bad. This was definitely, I think, the best deal out of all of it.
Oh,
12 skulls. And it's
For
funny because they kind of
$25.
poke fun. Why buy that crap from Scalpers?
I mean,
So
it's true, but that was the only option.
Yeah.
Like, we've kind of been saying that for a while, right? Like, I remember like a long time ago, you were talking about how like, Mezco should just release some weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
So just sell the guns.
So maybe they're finally starting to get there, man.
Makes me excited to see what else we're going to see added to this. Hopefully they do an accessories set, because that would be amazing. It makes so much sense.
Did you buy that card, Nate? That security clearance card?
No, I haven't bought that yet.
Honestly, like I said, here's my thing. I think you need to buy that, because if they did the QR code to get into the site, I bet honestly, like I said, if I'm putting money on it right now, there's going to be some type of membership ID on that card that's going to be some type of
thing later.
You're probably right. Yeah, because Gold Gomez, when he released, they packaged in a decoder ring. Yeah. And they've been giving out codes for that, and it's actually money off your order at mezcotoys.com.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that might be a good idea. But yeah.
Buy it all, Nate.
Just get one of everything, Nate.
If I need to spend more money on Mezco, now I have more excuses to do that.
But it's cool. Like, you don't have a Mezco poster. You need a Mezco poster.
Oh, another thing in toy news. We all talked about this through text this week too. But if you guys have been following the Todd McFarlane Spawn Kickstarter, holy crap. That finally closed, and it closed at $3 million plus.
$4 million.
Wow.
Almost 3.5. Yeah.
That's crazy.
To remind everyone, the goal for that was $100,000, and they got $3.4 million when it closed.
Well, I think the cool thing about that too is that Todd McFarlane actually took a ton of different suggestions. He actually read all the comments. So he actually read my comment and responded to it.
Cool.
On one of them. He was reading through all the comments. So when all the people said, hey, you know what? For one of the stretch goals, add necroplasm. So he added, like the last thing was that he added necroplasm to it. So since it passed 3 million, he doesn't know what he's going to do yet. But he said, it's like, yeah, I owe you guys something, because, like I said, there's no way this should have gone, like I said, to $3 million. But it went $3 million. I'll do something for you. So
yeah,
that's cool.
And he's been adding so much stuff. Like, if you got on that Kickstarter, you got a lot of freebies because of the milestones that it hit. So he's really just packing it in,
I honestly regret not picking up a second set.
Really?
Yeah. I at this point, I think I could have picked up a second set and been in good shape.
Do you have you got an autograph set, right?
Yeah, I got the 3-pack, the autograph set 3-pack.
Yeah, that's like the premium pack that comes with everything. So he's going to have all the head sculpts, all the extra weapons, the necroplasm, all that stuff, and whatever else they add before it closes. I have a feeling, because there's been some stuff on the internet about it, that they might throw in like a cloth cape too, in addition to the plastic one that they have. I don't know. That'd be crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
That makes sense. Probably wouldn't cost that much.
Yeah.
On Twitter, Statoverse tagged us in. It was weird. A Yahoo Finance video. Like they yeah, right. Hold on. It makes sense. They interviewed Todd McFarlane. But it was super, like, first I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I don't care. But it was super interesting. He talked not only about the Kickstarter and how, like, it's just another way for companies to, the smaller kind of licenses or whatever, the non-Marvel, non-Star Wars kind of things that, the big box toy stores like use.
They're not going to carry.
No, yeah, exactly, right. The big box toy stores are going to give like 70% of their shelf space to, Transformers and the big names. They don't care about Spawn. But it was another channel where he'd be able to sell his stuff, and it just totally exceeded his expectations. And I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense, right? And then he was talking about how like toys are almost recession proof, right? Like the last time, he's been around so long now, like the last time there was kind of a recession, like 2008, 2009, like they saw a dip and they didn't see any more growth, but it was just kind of flat overall. So I thought that was interesting, right? Because he's like, parents might not buy a new car, you might not go on a vacation, but you're probably not telling your kid no to a toy. Like, it totally makes sense. So Hopefully that bodes well for McFarlane Toys, and I don't know, maybe for Funko too. Better Q2 results, and that stock price can climb up a little bit. That would be nice.
It's true. It's a good investment. It seems like a really popular Kickstarter. People are going to regret not jumping on it.
They got the attention of Yahoo Finance. Like $3 million is a lot of money, especially like this thing started right when we all started staying home. Like the stay-at-home orders were in place, and the people are cutting back on spending, and he still made $3 million. That's crazy.
It's one of the more like fast-growing Kickstarters that I've ever seen.
Well, if you think about it, it hit like right after people got their stimulus checks.
Yeah,
so it's like
that might have helped. Yeah.
I can afford a little bit of the stimulus and buy
$150 on some
Spawn shit. Yeah.
So when that does finally come in, I will actually pull I will do a full figure review of every single thing.
Yes.
Cool.
So I will.
You just made Nate very, very happy.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I even got like a little motorized turntable I can bust out. Like that, I will. I will do it up.
I need to step up my game and get that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's even almost like one-upping Nate. That's impressive.
I've been wanting to kind of change up the way I do it because I don't like how I'm kind of down. I wish I was more to the side. If you watch The Amazing, he kind of like has it over here and he's sort of posing it with his hands.
Oh, okay.
I've been wanting to switch it up. It's just I don't know.
You need a secondary camera.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, that would be cool. But then it takes space because you need a setup that's easy to set up and take down. That way that way it's not a
permanent like.
It's not permanent taking up space, and it's not a pain to set up because otherwise you're not going to want to make the video. So
that's true.
Real quick,
you come up with something.
I said that I don't have the admin privileges in StreamYard right now, but I'll highlight the comment. But just want to call it Ed's comment real quick. Said, "Oh my God, Scott, you've been robbed."
Yeah. Let's see here. I did. Not really. No, they're all the stuff's down here. So I guess my only it's been a week story is. I've been getting everything ready because movers are coming on Monday to come pick up all my shit. So I will be joining Jeremy out in Tejas after this week. So a bunch of my shit. And if you go through my house, like half of it is disassembled or at least in a spot where somebody can come and just pack shit up and put it in a truck.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you're leaving late next week. So does that mean you're going to be out next week on the podcast?
I might for bingo. Yeah. So I will be driving that day. I will be driving my dogs and cat across country. And I think I'm going to be about 10 hours in the car, 9 or 10 hours going into that point. So I will be in a random bodunk town somewhere in Texas in a hotel room. If I'm there in time to join the podcast, I will join the podcast from phone or something. But yeah, you guys will get a join in my misery of spending 9 hours in a car with a cat and 2 dogs.
There's nothing worse.
How far is it from Phoenix to Austin?
It's about 14 and a half hours.
It's not too bad, yeah.
No.
It's an overnight thing, but
yeah, I'm stopping after about 10 hours. I think that's about the max.
Fairly quick second day.
It's going to be
once you hit New Mexico, and then once you hit the New Mexico-Texas border, and then it's just Texas, and you're like, oh, I'm in Texas now. And then like, oh shit, that's like another 9 hours.
It goes so far.
So so it's like 5 hours to get to El Paso, and then the rest of it's the drive across.
Dang.
It's like 6 hours to El Paso, I think. So yeah, it's like 9 hours of Texas.
Yeah. Texas is so huge. Like Jeremy said, you're like, oh, we're almost there. We're in Texas. No, you're not. No. You got about 10 hours left.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's not like driving from Phoenix to San Diego, where when you get to California, you're more than like halfway there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Yeah, nope, not at all.
Cool. So I hope you have a safe drive. If you join us, cool. If not, that's cool too.
Yeah. So, all right. So we said we were going to talk about some Netflix movies. I think we've talked about action figures long enough. Let's go into this because we've talked about Extraction.
Yeah, Nate.
I want to know you guys. Nate told us the last 2 weeks. He's like, we need to talk about this. I watched it today. I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on the movie.
Well, where should we start? Should we do like a overall review or
So
like
mild,
old school?
so mild spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
but it's
here, wait.
available for free on Netflix. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been available for a couple of weeks. We waited.
I'm gonna go ahead and
it's
put.
it's the Chris
here.
Hemsworth movie.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you guys
the
aren't
Chris
familiar.
Hemsworth.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen Extraction. If you haven't, I mean, you're probably all familiar with it by now. It's been out for a couple of weeks. It's a new action thriller on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth, Mr. Thor himself. And it's about like this guy that's basically kind of like a mercenary that
He's 100% a mercenary.
yeah, he goes and does missions for extractions. Like he's trying to find people that have been kidnapped, get them out of the country so they can get paid. Ed says, I thought I said he'd been on Netflix for 65 days. I'm like, I don't think it's been there that long.
Yeah.
He has been on Netflix for 65 days. Anyways,
Netflix free. He is
Netflix.
Ed
He's
has
been
not watched
off of
Netflix
Netflix.
for 2 months.
yeah, shit quickly goes bad in this movie. He gets in some crazy firefights. Really cool action scenes. I like the way that they did the camera and they kind of like followed him along. And there's
Yeah, I noticed that too.
yeah.
It
I
felt a lot like a video game.
Yeah,
To
it kind
me.
of did. It felt like a Call of Duty sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hockey says apparently it's the biggest movie premiere they've ever had or set to be. It's definitely huge. It's been streaming at #1 for a while. So I don't know.
To your point though, if they called this instead of Extraction, if they called this Call of Duty Extraction, it would not have surprised me at all.
Yep, it
I'd have
definitely
been
feels
like,
like a Call of Duty because and then there's like this weird gangster side to it that you only get to see a little bit, but he's like throwing kids off buildings and stuff. I was like, whoa, this is getting dark.
Cutting fingers off.
But then we never really
Yeah.
see that kind of play out at all. I don't know. Overall, I will say
You
I'll
see
give
almost there's only one unresolved character on
That's
the
true.
bad guy side.
and they've already announced that they're going to do a sequel. They've already greenlit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've already greenlit the sequel, which kind of, I mean, I don't know if we want
I-
to jump all the way there.
No,
but
my theory is it's going to be a prequel. Because I
Oh,
think
okay.
one of the guys that they signed on for, here's where the spoiler gets in, pretty early on in the movie, gets shot in the head. So
it's at his sniper friend.
I think his sniper friend that was out there is
Yeah.
one of the other guys that signed on.
Yeah, so
So-
he's got this like sniper guy that goes on watch out, overlook for him basically, but he gets killed really early on in the movie. And
Well-
Scott is saying that the guy's in the new movie. So
Well, he's has signed on. It could be flashback. You don't obviously know,
Yeah. David Harbour's in this too.
but yeah, David
It
Harbour.
could be a
helped with-
prequel
right.
with David Harbour in it too.
that was really unexpected to see him in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah. Right, it takes you a second. You're like, wait a minute, is that David Harbour? Because he's like a good hour into the movie or something, and then he
Yeah,
just kind
that's
of
right.
shows up. It's like, wait a second, I know that guy.
This movie reminded me a lot of I'm actually kind of hoping, like I said, in the weird craziness, which I think could potentially happen. It kind of reminded me of that Ryan Reynolds Netflix movie, Six Underground. Did you guys watch
Oh.
it at all?
I started it.
So
I didn't like it.
like that one. I like this one a lot more than I did that.
I was going to say I really hated Six Underground.
Yeah, me too.
The story was wonky, but I think these could technically take place in the same universe.
That would be crazy.
Maybe.
I think that there's too much realism in this one for it to really happen. Like this is trying to be, uber real, but then have like the stylized fight scene stuff.
True. And I think this movie, like, more than anything else, though, it just goes to show that you don't need a box office. Like,
Oh yeah.
like you don't need a box office anymore. And I think this kind of I think it kind of ties back to, and I think that's why, like I said, Universal is kind of flexing their muscles a little bit against like AMC.
They made a shit ton of money on Trolls.
Yeah, they made
And Trolls 2 made a ton of money.
basically saying, "Hey, the theater saying, oh, we're not going to show any Universal movies anymore. So you're not going to show the new Fast and the Furious at the theater."
Yeah.
Like,
Right. That's one of the top franchises of all time for making money.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
think about the deal, though. I mean, I wish you could have kept the movie after you got it, but whatever. Universal did the thing was what, $20? You got it for 2 days. Like, if I'm going to take my family to the movies, I cannot do so in less than the $20
Yeah, true. For 3 people. Right?
for 3
Like,
people.
Yeah.
It's
There's
going to
no
be
way.
at least the $20.
Mhm.
So
At least.
and this Netflix thing shows that like you can get a good action movie that should have been like, in all things, this should have been in theaters, right? Like Extraction should have been in theaters.
Yeah, it was definitely a good enough quality to be in theaters. Like you guys were saying, Joe Russo and Anthony Russo produced it, so it's got that kind of like that Avengers tie to it. I don't know if maybe they're dipping into Marvel money for this or not, but the production quality seemed really, really good. I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely.
They're dipping into their Marvel money, which there is plenty of.
That's true. There's a shit ton, and now Chris Hemsworth has even more money than he did before.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder though, like how do they make money off this? Like you got that streaming service, but it's a membership thing, so that you got these members that are paying. What is it? Just like new membership that Chris Hemsworth gets paid bonus on, or like how does that work? Shout out to the trap. Drew Winters here.
I thought you said shout out to the trap, and I was like, the
what?
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 The trap.
Hi, Drew.
Trap chat.
It's a trap. Yeah. I don't know how they like. I get how it's like the biggest opening, right? They have the most viewership in the X days. I wonder if they go based on how many people watch the movie.
I think that's how they show up as a success, but I feel like a lot of the money is just based on the deal to create and distribute it. Like maybe there's bonuses built in where if it does, like actors get and stuff, like if it does XYZ, maybe they get more money. But I feel like a lot of it is just like, here, Russos, we'll pay you this much money to make this money for Netflix. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Is it like a set fee that he gets paid, or does he, get part of the profit if it gets huge?
I'm sure there's a
fee with
there's a
bonuses.
There's got to be a nice flat fee, and then like there's probably some incentives too.
The bonuses, I think, it can't come from like membership stat things. So it would have to be on like if it gets more than X number of views in the first, 20 days or whatever, we'll do. You get like your bonus or whatever. It's got to be something along those lines.
I think it's like that, but I think it's kind of like how maybe even YouTube does it. Like, so how like if you on certain videos you have like audience retention numbers for basically how you get into a show. So I was looking at I forgot what I was looking at the other day. There was like some other show on Netflix, and those were the statistics that they were offering, saying, hey, like the reason why they can say like Tiger King was so popular was not only just because of the clicks themselves, but because of actually how deep people got into each specific episode.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I've seen multiple occasions. I've seen the Toys That Made Us, like through their Twitter and Instagram and stuff. They've talked about, hey, help us out if you want another season. Don't just watch part of an episode. Don't just watch one or two episodes. Watch all of every episode that's dropped for the season. Watch it in its entirety. That's what Netflix looks at in order to figure out if we're popular enough to make another season. So I think Jeremy's onto something.
That makes sense. So a lot of people watch Extraction all the way to the end, and so they're like, okay, this is really successful.
So did you guys notice though that there was 10 minutes of credits?
That is a lot of credits.
Because I was watching, I was like,
because I didn't.
Because I was at the very, I didn't watch it, but I was at the kind of at the end. But I had the bar up, and I was like, "There's still 10 minutes of this movie." So I fast forwarded to be like, "There's got to be a end of credit scene or something like that." There's just legitimately 10 minutes of credits in the film.
Yeah.
Also, favorite part, he kills a dude with a rake. Not one, he kills two dudes. He kills two dudes with a rake.
It was pretty violent.
It was,
Chris Hemsworth, he definitely showed a different side of him. Because we only know him as like Thor. At least I don't really, you don't see him in really much else. He's been in all the Marvel movies, but now you got him in this, which is more real world. But yeah, I mean, he was kicking ass. He had some really violent scenes where he's just murdering people.
Yeah, I don't know how many people died, but there are so many people that died in this movie.
Yeah.
Someone needs to go through and count.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Can I say the one thing I didn't like?
Yes.
So I really enjoyed it, right? Like, thank you, Nate, because I probably wouldn't watch it had you not said, hey, this movie's good, go watch it. But I'm glad I watched it. The thing I didn't like is I didn't like the opening scene. I felt like the opening scene was completely unnecessary because it was the super flash forward to the end, right? He's on that bridge and you can tell he's all beat up. That scene was completely unnecessary. I didn't need that to draw me in. Like, I know that throughout this whole movie I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, somehow this is all going to go bad and he's going to be stuck on that bridge all banged up. They didn't need to show me that right off. That was totally unnecessary.
I agree because it kind of sets it up for failure because, like,
You know,
eventually
he's gonna get fucked up and shot in the
trouble.
neck. Yeah.
The reason, the whole reason they did that was just because it was a whole John Wick thing. Like I said, it was very John Wick like I said in regards.
It's true.
It's like because I said it in the very first. Like I said in all those John Wick movies, like he's all beat up in the very beginning, and then it's all the story of how he got there. So it was a very big kind of swipe towards like John Wick-ish.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Jeremy, because it does feel very much like John Wick. It's
100% John Wick 1.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. He's bloody and he's hurt, and then it goes back and it's like, 48 hours before, here's what happened.
Yeah, not quite
sometimes
as much.
that works, but not on this one, man. I didn't.
Not too. It happens too much. Only one or two movies can do it, and then you're like, all right, we're done. No more.
There wasn't as much like crazy gunplay as like you see in John Wick, but there's a lot of like crazy fighting like you see in John Wick.
Oh yeah, one guy against 20, and Chris Hemsworth's just mowing everybody down, like literally with a lawnmower.
I actually very much enjoyed the fight scene between him and the Indian special ops guy. That they're kind of fighting. That lands on the street, and then each of them gets hit by cars, and like
one got in.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, man, it was a really good movie, and like you said, not just Netflix good, but it was a good movie.
I think that this is something that could have gone to theaters and at least done fairly well.
Yeah.
Like, it's an action movie. It's the start of the summer. Like, it is a good lead into summer type of movie. It should give a lot of movie studios and movie theaters a little bit of worry that higher quality movies are showing up on these streaming platforms for people to be able to watch.
Exactly. It was nice, man. It was nice to have a good new movie to watch since I'm sitting at home not watching anything else.
I literally think that, like I said, we're in like the experimentation phase right now. So I think we had I think we had Trolls and all of them. Like I said, do like the video on demand. We have Netflix coming out with like these high quality like movies like this. I think the next big test is for Disney Plus and that Artemis Fowl movie that they put a whole bunch of money into, that they're just releasing directly straight to Disney Plus. Yeah. So I think it's this just giant experiment in regards to what is the future of like box office look like? Because I literally think that the theater experience is going to be way different than what it is now. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a draw as it was before. Is it other options out there for them?
How do you social distance at a movie theater or like a baseball stadium? How do you keep people 6 feet apart but still keep families together? Like,
true. And like this is sort of forced companies to adapt. Like we've talked about this before, but COVID's going to have all these lasting impacts on a bunch of different industries, and I think this is one of them. I don't think movie theaters are going to come back as strong as they were before. A lot of people have realized they can be at home and get whatever they want without an issue. It's a lot cheaper, to your guys' earlier point, if I want to entertain my whole family.
Movie theater's going to have to stop charging me like $20 for fucking popcorn because I'll just go watch that shit at my house. Like, and make popcorn for $1 like it should be.
Did you see Harkins, one of the local theaters here, was offering the past couple of weekends where you could go buy a bag of popcorn for like $12, and I heard the line was like 2 hours long. So people love the movie theater popcorn.
That is insane.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Well,
but go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I said honestly, I think there's a way to adapt. It's just you just have to show basically what the value proposition is for, like I said, for going to these events now. So I honestly see, like I said, sporting events and, like I said, not right away, and movie theater events and things like that. I see basically everything becoming basically like these little micro suites. So basically, you take your family and you have basically you go to the movie in like this micro suite, or you go to the sports game in this micro suite. There's like none of this like packed stadium stuff. There's like I don't necessarily see this happening. Like I said, I think there's a transition that's going to happen over.
Well, and it's the thing I said, like movie theaters are going to have to step up and make it like more of an event to go to, and kind of try to make everything like all in one, right? Like it's just not the movie. Like you're going to have to go do like the dinners and everything.
Yeah, two different comments about the changes. Sean B, my plan to social distance in the movie theater is to fart. No one will sit within 6 feet of me. That's a solid plan, Sean B.
No, for me, no one does that anyway. They just look at me and like, I'm not sitting by that guy.
But, I mean, jokes aside, Larry brought this up earlier. I think people are going to be afraid to sit so close to other people right off the bat. You know, it's going to be something where they want that extra space. So going to a movie and being locked in with 30 or 50 other people doesn't sound that appealing.
I really don't know. But see, like at the same time, you can separate the seats by 6 feet. But what about the kid who wants to sit next to his parents? Like, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the one who has to figure out this logistically. But like, there's challenges you have to overcome, and I don't like sitting this guy who farts anyhow. Like,
Larry, you have a problem with the people sitting next to you taking their shoes off in the theater.
That's where I was going. I'm like, every time I go, like the guys either farting or everybody takes their shoes off. I didn't like that anyhow. So, I mean, give me Trolls 2 at home and I'll just watch it on my couch.
Yeah. At least twice that has happened to Larry, by the way.
It's like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
People like to fart next to Larry.
It's not farting. It's this dude just going to the movie theater, sitting in the seat, reclining it back, and then popping them shoes off.
All right,
nobody's gonna mind that I take these babies off.
Yeah.
So, because like I said, they're taking off their shoes. They bring in their own pillows and blankets into the theater.
The blanket thing throws me, man. Like, what
weirds me out. Like,
are you planning on taking a nap? Like, what are you doing in here?
I like to be cozy.
Yeah.
Get my jammies, my jams.
You got to get the fucking Snuggies, man. Like, I've seen people wear Snuggies into the theaters. You're like,
that's not a bad idea.
It is in Arizona. It's like 105 degrees outside. You don't need a blanket. You don't need a Snuggie. And keep your damn shoes on.
Yeah, definitely keep the shoes on. That's gross.
Yes.
I don't want to smell feet when I'm watching a movie.
Can we talk about horror?
Let's go around.
Let's go. Okay.
So I'm gonna give it probably like a 4. I don't think it was the best movie I've ever watched, but it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, 4 sounds fair.
I'd give it a 4.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
It was a 4.
At no point did I want to turn it off, so that's a plus.
Yeah. 4. So 4 is all around. Okay. So we did have one last topic, and this is thanks to you guys in the chat. We asked you last week what you wanted to talk about, and you told us horror movies. So for the last 10 minutes, we're going to cover our most favorite and our least favorite horror movies. No restriction on time, so it can be from the 60s or today.
Can I think I've mentioned this before, but can I tell you the horror movie that scarred me the most as a child?
Do it.
It's Critters.
Yes.
Critters. When I was a little kid, I watched that movie well before I should have watched that movie, and it legitimately scarred me for life. I did not have like legitimate like fears of like Jason or like Freddy or anything, but like it was the Critters got to me, man.
Was it the critter ball that you were most afraid of?
Is the ball, or when they shoot the little quill into the neck, like everything about like I've watched it again, and it is a good campy horror movie. Like I'm a big fan of it, but as a child, that thing like legitimately scarred me. I had nightmares for you. Like we had a basement that had like the laundry room kind of thing that was down at the end of a hallway. I was afraid of that room because it's like that's where the critters are going to be. Like that's where they're at. Like I was legit afraid of that.
So Scott, we've talked about this before because me and you had the same basically kind of horror like esque situation with that movie. So what ended up happening with me is like so the very first time I ever saw that movie, I was at a kid's sleepover, right? And so it scared me so bad I had to call my mom to come pick me up.
I just always remember the Hungry Heifer song. Is that from the first one or the second one? It's like the Hungry Heifer, we don't feed you no steer. You guys remember that?
I think that is from the first one. It's been a while since I've seen him. Maybe we might have to, Larry. That might be something that eventually we do for Totally Rad. But yeah, it's been a while. So that's the one that scarred me the most as a child. I needed to bring it up because I thought that is the funniest one.
That's a good choice, Scott. It's a good choice. Well, is that your favorite or is it your most
No,
scary?
that's just the one that scarred me as a child.
Okay.
Like that's not a favorite, or
I guess let's start with that. What movie scarred you as a child? So Scott told us Critters. Larry, what horror movie scarred you as a child?
So
Come on, there's got to be something.
we didn't watch a lot of horror movies in my house.
Damn it, Larry.
I don't. Yeah, I'm bad at this one. This is like I think I've seen Critters, but I'm not even 100% sure. Was Tremors a horror movie? Was that the one with like the weird like worm
I would
guy?
say that was
I would
kind
say
of
Tremors is considered horror. Yeah.
yeah.
We'll go with Tremors then, because I didn't like those worm guys. I remember I didn't watch that at my house, but I watched it at a friend's house. Yeah, yeah.
So
that
the
one
Graboids
scarred you
versus
as a
Kevin
child?
Bacon. Yeah.
Yes, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon scarred you as a child.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That's
Kevin
what it
Bacon
was.
scared a lot of children.
Yeah, he was a weird dude, and he had a like kind of a mullet in that. It was not pleasant. Jeremy, what's a movie that scarred you as a child?
All right, so besides Critters, listen, the only other one was The Exorcist. I said,
Yeah, that one.
freaked me out just because, well, just honestly, like, besides, like, so just the scary things like that are in the movie, it's like the completely inappropriate things that are in the movie, because I'm a little kid and I didn't know how to feel, like, especially when she's just, like, like screwed herself with a cross. Like, I'm like, what is going on? I'm not supposed to be watching this. I'm like 12.
So I have never seen The Exorcist.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Larry.
the scene I'm talking about, like, she literally takes a cross and does naughty things
where
with
the
it.
sun doesn't shine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Multiple
that's one way
times.
to say it.
The pea soup vomit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gross.
It was scary.
good pick. Sounds horrible.
Well, for me, the one that really scarred me as a child, and still to this day, I don't like swimming in open water. Jaws. I remember I watched Jaws as a kid, and it freaked the hell out of me. I remember the next time I went into the ocean, that's all I could think about was Jaws coming up to kill me.
Not just the ocean, the pool, the bathtub,
Yeah, exactly.
you name it.
Yeah, you're just swimming around in there, and you realize there's like 100 feet of water, of space in between you. That's plenty enough for a big Jaws.
Okay.
And still to this day, I freak out when I'm in the middle of the ocean sometimes and think about that.
Nate, real quick, before you get that, Nate, you need to come to visit me in Austin, just because I said of that Jaws that they show on the lake where they have the scuba divers come and grab you out of the tubes.
Nice.
It's
Really?
yeah. So basically, so you're floating in a tube. They have the like you're in like basically Lake Austin. They have the projector going, and then you just sit out there and watch Jaws. And they have basically teams of scuba divers that come in and grab your feet and like pull you out of your ride.
Dude, that freaked me out.
So I want to answer that question from Ed, because I actually know my Kevin Bacon score. It is 3.
What score of like what?
I don't.
How many degrees away from Kevin Bacon are you?
Yeah.
In 6?
Yeah, well, if you go with like
Oh.
Met, people I've
Where
met.
Dante's Peak.
Yes, it is. Dante's Peak had Pierce Brosnan. He was with Pierce Brosnan. He was in a movie, The
Old
Mirror Has
School
Two Faces, with Jeff Bridges, who is in R.I.P.D. with Kevin Bacon. My score is 3.
Can
A
you
lot of degrees of Kevin Bacon.
highlight Manny's comment real quick, Scott? 8mm.
Where's
Possibly.
It's not even
Nicolas
a horror. So the Nicolas Cage.
I'm trying to find it here.
It's
there you go.
above Ed.
So it's not even a horror movie. It's a scat movie. I think you mean a snuff movie.
Is that the pooping?
Scat is poo.
Scat is the
And maybe, I mean,
It's a different 8mm.
yeah, right.
That's a different kind of scat.
So let's go back though and tell everyone, what is the favorite one? Because so we can go over it. What is your favorite all-time like horror movie?
Well, who wants to start?
Jeremy, you raised your hand like are we in elementary school again here?
Hands down, Nightmare on Elm Street. The scene where Johnny Depp gets blenderized on the bed.
No, I thought you were gonna say, "Welcome to primetime, bitch."
Oh, well,
Like,
well, just the Nightmare on Elm Street series in general. Part 3, Dream Warriors. Like I said, that is my all-time favorite horror movie scene.
Yeah.
The all-time favorite horror movie itself. It's probably the first.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah.
Prime time, bitch. And all those, I said all those bitches. I said that he said those are all like ad lib too. I said when on a documentary I was watching about Robert Englund. He's like, yeah, I had to ad lib a lot of stuff. So he ad libbed, the bitch comment before Jesse Pinkman did it in Breaking Bad.
He just really likes the word bitch.
Oh.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. Larry, favorite scary movie?
So I'm taking it back to 1960 with Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Whoa.
Norman Bates' mom, that lady in the shower. It's a really good movie.
Lady in the shower.
I don't know her name. I should. Right?
Yeah, that's a classic, man. Psycho's one of the OG horror movies.
Yeah.
I remember watching it when I was younger and not really understanding it at first, and then realizing that this guy's got serious problems. But
Yeah,
I think that was probably one of the first movies that I'd seen where there's a guy that acts like that.
Right, his mom. Like we watched it. I had a film class in college, so I didn't see it up until like I was an adult.
How did you have a film class in college and you have so many movies that you haven't seen?
So film
Not a bad point.
fair, but film class you don't watch Troll 2 and like we watched Psycho, we watched Casablanca, we watched Vertigo, we watched that kind of stuff. We didn't watch crappy like 80s movies. Like they made us watch like Seven Samurai. I watched that in college, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
Fair. You saved yourself there, Larry.
Yeah.
So
But I've seen Psycho.
yeah, it's like good.
And it holds up too for like being so old. Like you could watch it now, like what?
Not the
60
remake
years
though.
later? No,
Not the
I'm talking
remake.
like we're talking original. Like it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
So
All right.
do you guys remember Creep Show?
I do remember Creep
That's
Show.
mine. Creep Show is
Nice.
mine. Like I love the anthology that kind of all the kid reading the comic book and all the stories or the comics stories in the comic book.
Dude, they're coming out with a TV show.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so excited.
That's cool. Good pick.
Yeah. Creep Show I haven't seen in a really long time. I don't really remember a lot of it, but one thing that's cool, Scott, is NECA is making a Creep Show figure.
What?
Ooh.
Scott's
Yeah.
getting a new action figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be buying an action. Is it the skeleton thing and like the cowl cape thing?
It's cool.
You can also
Yeah,
pre-order the Funko.
Making
Oh,
his-
there's a pop?
Yeah, there's a pop. There's a Creep Show pop. I
Ooh,
pre-ordered it.
Nice. There you go, Scott. Buy the pop. It's cheaper.
There you go.
And like Jeremy said, shumistore.com, enter code STS guys, you can save 10%.
Well, my favorite horror movie, and this is actually more of a recent one, but I remember watching it and just being very disturbed after I watched it, which made me actually really like it because I haven't had a scary movie actually like legit kind of freak me out or make me feel a certain way in a long time. But Hereditary, if you guys have not seen Hereditary, this movie is messed up, man. It's about like the story of this family and everything just starts to go wrong. And there's this one scene in particular in the car. You guys will know what I'm talking about. It's just very disturbing.
The decapitation.
Yeah, the decapitated kid in the car. So it's just a messed up movie. I didn't expect it to be as dark as it was, but it gets worse as it goes. And it definitely stuck with me. Hereditary's got to be one of my favorites.
Nice.
So Ed Butt Wasted in the chat reminded me of one that freaked me out as a kid. Do you guys ever see that movie V?
Yeah.
They're like those lizard people who pretended to be humans, but they could like peel away their faces. I
don't think
those
I ever
peel
saw
away
this movie.
lizard men scared the crap out of me.
They Live is also a pretty good one if you want like scary like
Ooh, They Live is
people
classic.
hiding. Yeah. All right. Does anybody have a really bad one though that they can go? And I'm gonna say
Yeah.
I have quite a few, but there are a lot of them are ones I've watched on Mystery Science Theater. So like I'm not gonna include any of those.
I have one that you guys will definitely know that is one of the worst.
What do you got?
Trolls 2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That one is so bad it's good.
We have all talked about it. It was a Halloween special at one point. It's one of the worst Halloween and horror movies I've ever seen in my whole life.
Same. It's just a horrible movie.
It's just bad all around.
I have one.
Okay.
Because it's weird. Midsummer.
Oh,
Oh,
that one's hard. That one's hard to like.
That's a bad one.
It's so bad. Well, especially like I said, well, spoilers in case you haven't seen this weird, fucked up movie. Like I said, the one scene I said where they're like impregnating the girl, and then I said all the old ladies are around him. They're all naked, and like it's the weirdest movie I've ever seen.
I thought of one. Oh crap! But I lost it.
I got one here.
It's so Sean. I think it was Sean. No, Manny. Manny said that some movies are so bad, like they could be great classics. I wouldn't say it's great classics, but it's so bad that I liked it. Urban Legends 2, Urban Legend Final Cut. That movie was really, really bad, but I kind of liked it because it was so bad.
So,
like the forgotten classics of like the early 2000s, like right. That's when horror movies were coming back.
Because Urban Legend was such a great film. I ran to go see the sequel. I'll just tell you that. Like, yeah.
You should have. Like, it was
Final Cut.
So mine is a horror movie that it is a sequel. The first one was amazing. The second one, I went into it watching. I was like, it's gonna be so good. And about halfway through, I was like, what the fuck this shit. Like, what is this? What am I watching? Blair Witch 2 Season of the Witch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, the book.
I don't think I saw that one.
Shadows. Book of Shadows.
Book of Shadows, yeah. That one.
I agree.
That
it
one
took the name and it threw it into the dumpster.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, the witch is gonna come after Jamie Kennedy on video or whatever. I was like, this is awful.
No.
Like
anything with Jamie Kennedy is awful.
Yeah. That's the moral of the story right there.
It was just
if you see Jamie Kennedy, run.
Yeah.
It's probably a shitty movie.
Did you guys like the first Blair Witch? Like,
I liked the
remember
first Blair
watching
Witch.
it. I thought it was pretty good. I remember
maybe it doesn't hold up now, but it
came
was. Yeah, I don't think it holds up, but it was good at the time because it was the first of its kind.
it was
That's
super,
true.
super unique.
Yeah, if you try to go back and watch it now, it definitely feels outdated.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kill.
So with Blair Witch, like I said, the reason that movie was so good was I remember I said watching that in the theaters, it's creeped everybody else out at the time. So we had a camping trip right after that where we go to like other like campers' campground sites and actually do like stacks of rocks and
Nice.
Right? We made the little stick things all the time, like in camping. I was still living up in Montana at the time when the first Blair Witch came out. So yeah, we were like camping a lot. So we're like, oh, we're gonna fuck with some people. But yeah, we spoofed it. We made like our own little Blair Witch spoof movie. Like that had a lasting impact on me. I don't think it's good now. Like if I rewatched it, this is kind of dumb.
I mean,
like at the time,
the whole premise of Blair Witch was like right there in the woods making a movie on VHS. I don't think VHS, like just that whole premise is so dated now that like, I just think if you try to show Blair Witch to like a kid or a teenager, I don't think they'd care because they're like, what the hell is this?
Well, they'd just be like, oh,
it's on their cell phone.
Use their cell phone with the GPS and they'd find the map.
Right?
You know, like
cell phone would solve it all.
Yeah.
Sean B mentions Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
That's where I got the two names mixed up. That was also the Halloween without Michael Myers.
Yeah, that was the one where the Halloween masks turn the kid's face into worms.
Yeah, it was bad. Right.
It was bad, but it was also kind of good.
Manny brings up an old STS Guys favorite, the babysitter on Netflix. Wasn't that part of our first super mega Halloween special back in the day? Or is that just like a random thing we talked about? I think that was
like a random pre-Halloween one that we talked about. But yeah.
You're right. It was just Thanksgiving. But yeah, Babysitter. That was a single-digit episode of the STS Guys, man. We watched The Babysitter.
We very much enjoyed that movie.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was at the time, like that was good for Netflix. Like what, almost 3 years ago?
Wow.
Because so Talking Pops is doing their 4-year today. We're getting dangerously close to 3 years.
We are.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
At the end of this summer, yeah.
Yeah. So remember when we did our Q&A episode, somebody said, hey, like, oh, it was Stateovers. Shout out to that guy again. So he's like, hey, when is the next giveaway? So I haven't ran this by you guys yet, but what do you think about doing a super mega, totally rad prize pack giveaway?
Oh,
Wait.
Super mega, totally rad prize pack giveaway.
I think he did say super mega super rad prize pack giveaway.
he did say super mega totally rad prize pack giveaway.
I did say super mega totally rad prize pack giveaway.
That was
I
hard to say.
Like totally rad's probably on pause for a little bit because Scott's moving. No
Yeah.
big deal. But we'll be back. But it's going to be STS Guys 3 year. It's going to be really close to 1 year for Totally Rad Movie Podcast too. I thought maybe we could put together a prize pack with stuff from some of the movies that we've watched on the Totally Rad Movie Podcast, like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Beetlejuice. Like there's some good stuff out there. Let's see what we can put together. It's time for another giveaway.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like it.
I
I like that.
So cool.
Bingo
Any
square.
other
For more
horror
super
movie
mega
stuff?
awesomeness.
So, does anybody want to give us another topic for next week? 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
Again, we're still in quarantine. There's not a whole lot new coming up.
I mean,
Yes.
hopefully Scott will have like a good "It's been a week" story from your
Probably
tribe.
will have at a certain
If you
point.
guys
we'll-
have some topics, please
Yeah.
throw them in the chat.
Right?
While
You
Larry
stop
does
at
the
the
show.
you stop at the shady truck stop, and there's a hole in the bathroom wall. You know, one thing leads to another.
For a good time,
Hey.
call.
I'm never
Take a little
one to turn. I'm never
little
one to
later on
turn
the
down an
road.
adventure. Yeah.
I'm
To your
expecting a
shoulder.
good road trip story, right? You're going on a road
I
trip with
hope.
yourself and dogs.
Okay, we could talk about road trips. Ed brings up like road trips. I guess that's an appropriate time to talk road
Totally
trips. Maybe.
appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
I have some road trip stories, so that works.
All right, cool. I know Scott has one too, from when he came to Arizona.
Yeah.
So I think we can piece that together. Good call, Ed.
Ed with the good ideas.
So we've talked about them all night. Go check out our friends. I usually do this last, but oh well. Go check out our friends Talking Pops. Their 4-year anniversary episode will be up on Spotify and everywhere really soon. So check them out. Check out Pop Collectors Alliance. Check out the Tyler G Show. Check out the Toy Photocast, Four Dorksmen Geek Together, Secondary Heroes, Average Nerd Podcast. Shout out again to those guys. Did I say Toy Photocast already? Check out Toy Photocast because they're awesome. Check out the Totally Rad Movie Podcast. Scott and I will be back really soon with Garbage Pail Kids still probably.
Yeah. Garbage Pail Kids.
I still want to watch Garbage Pail Kids because I haven't watched it yet. So coming really soon once it gets settled. We'll do that. But yeah, there's a ton of great podcasts out there. Go support everybody. Check out the Movie Retakes podcast. I almost forgot about them. That's a really great new podcast too. I feel like that now everybody's been home. Like everybody's like, what should I do? I've got all this free time on my hands. And it's like, let's start a podcast. So just try to be supportive of all the other great podcasts out there like we are, because there's a ton of them. And you know, you're just sitting around not doing anything. So might as well listen to a podcast while you're working from home.
Absolutely.
You might as well spend some money too, because there's not much to look forward to right now besides getting a package in the mail. So head over to shumistore.com, buy yourself some Funko Pops, buy yourself some big pins, and enter code STS Guys. You're going to save 10%. Animated Apparel Company, my favorite place to buy t-shirts. They're back, baby. Go to Animated Apparel Company, enter code STS Guys. You can save 10%, and you're going to get free shipping. Animated Apparel Company, it's the best.
It's
the best.
Chilling like a villain.
Whole lot of bingo squares right there.
Yeah.
Boom. So, for episode 132, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, I've been Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Blah, blah, blah.
Go Bongo.
Bye. Bye. Everybody.
Bye.